Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So here today I'm just going to give you a quick update on the unstable jailbreak that came out yesterday. I did a video about it. Modded Warfare also did a full tutorial on it if you want to check it out. But I was going to do another video today and release it. Actually, I was halfway done, but then this came out. So this is an updated version. No, it's not any more stable, but what they did do is add payloads that may be useful once you get this working. So we're going to check those out in a minute. Don't forget, before we continue, make sure you hit that like button. It's the best way to show your support and to support the efforts of the channel. Keeps me motivated to keep bringing you all kinds of content here. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So we're here at the main page of the exploit, and even from yesterday, you can see it's changed up a little bit. Once again, and I can't stress this enough, make sure you watch the Modded Warfare video if you want more details and how to use this. But also, to echo what he said, really, you should just wait until the quote-unquote official jailbreak comes out for this, because this one is highly unstable. So you've already been warned, and we covered that in yesterday's video. So you have the JB and mira links here as usual, but now there's the extra payloads. When we click on that, you can see here that these payloads are supposed to work with 6.72. Now, obviously, to use any of these payloads, you need to make sure that this exploit is up and running on your system first. And then once you've confirmed that it's on there and running, then you can go ahead and start using these payloads. So let's go ahead and let's run through them, starting with the updates. All right, so disable updates first, and this one is really important. As a matter of fact, once you have the mira hen and everything up and running, this is probably the first thing I would recommend that you do, is run the disable updates payload, because what this does is that it prevents any update from installing. Now, you can still make contact with the Sony servers, and it's possible to even have an update get downloaded into your system, but it will not install that update even if you hit yes. So if someone else uses your PS4, even if they accidentally hit yes to install the update, it will not install. You will also not be able to install a firmware manually either. So you're completely safe. Once you're on 6.72, you only need to run this disable updates once. Even if you turn off your PS4 and restart it, it will still stay. You never have to run it again. Of course, you can't install any other firmware. So in the future, if you need to install one, let's say manually, you will have to run the enable updates in order to be able to do that. But this is very useful. Definitely the first thing that you should run on here. Okay, so moving on to the dumping section. First, we have backup, which I believe is to back up your database. It's good to do this every once in a while, like when you have games and stuff like that backed up, because when you back up your database, if later on, let's say an exploit comes out, a higher one, and we move to that, when you update, your games will remain in your system, but after the update, you may not be able to see them. And then you have to restore the backup or just delete the games and start all over again. That's one of the things that some people apparently have run into when updating from 505 to 672. So before they updated, they had to run a backup of their database, then update to 672, then restore that backup, and then the games would appear again. They were in there taking up space, but they just couldn't see them. So I believe that's what it's for, even though this is not labeled. I think it's to back up your database. Then you have dumper. This is what is used to dump or back up your game disks. So after you put the game disk in, this is what you would be using. Modded Warfare did a tutorial about this. Hopefully I'll remember, and I'll put a link down in the description, and he shows you how to use that. Then you have kernel dumper, which is something that really benefits more the developers. So really an end user may not have all that much use for it. Let's move on to other payloads. Alright, so in other payloads we have app to USB, and hopefully I'll remember, and I'll put a link down in the description to Modded Warfare's tutorial because he did one on this. And basically what this does, for example, if you have a game installed in your internal drive of your PS4, you can move that game over to an external drive, and then like a little shortcut or something to that effect is left behind in your internal system, so that way you can play the game from your external hard drive, but the PS4 is tricked into thinking it's playing it from your internal drive, and it seems to work just fine. So you can save space on your internal hard drive, so this can come in very useful. Then there's enable browser. Now I don't know if this has changed in later firmwares, but I know that sometimes in the past it's been the case where the icon of the browser doesn't appear on your home screen, and when you go into the area where you can choose what you want to appear on the home screen, it's not there either. By selecting this, you make that appear either on your home screen or in that area where you can choose it for it to show up on your home screen, and then it will be there. Fan threshold is something you should not mess with. Leave it alone. I'm actually in the process of making a video having to deal with fans and modded systems and things like that. FTP is self-explanatory. You already know what that is. Allows you to FTP into your system. History blocker is something that can be very useful, just as useful as the disable updates. If you're new to the scene, you're going to find out that when you open up your browser, it will open up whatever you used last in pretty much every case, or in most cases. So if mira was the last thing you used, when you open up your browser, it's going to open it up again, and it's going to try to automatically run it again. And it's annoying because, especially in this case, you need to run the jailbreak first, not the mira. Well, what this does is that it prevents that from happening. So whatever you did last on your browser is not going to automatically load. Trust me, is it extremely helpful, and this is one of those things that you only have to do once and then you don't have to do it again. Okay, so next we have kernel clock, and this is something that I don't have any expertise in because I've never used it, but I'll put up this article down in the description, or I'll link it there for those of you that might be interested. And what apparently it does is that it will set the internal clock back to 2012, 2013. The use for this would be if you have legit PS Plus games, they would start working again in your system. Again, something I really don't know about, so if this is something that pertains to you, make sure you check it out because it tells you here how to use it, how it works, and what it's for. Next, we have restore, which I believe is the database restore. This is what restores this backup that we talked about earlier. And then there's RIF renamer. Now, RIF renamer is something that I think is going to come in handy later on when we get, the official hen. Because apparently what happens is that when you install stuff using mira, like let's say games, it labels them a certain way or names them a certain way or something like that. And then regular hen does it a different way. So when we get regular hen and we install it, it's possible that whatever you installed with mira may not work because it kind of has a different naming structure. So what this does is that it will rename all those things so that it will work with regular hen whenever it comes out. And then there's Linux. There is no way you should even remotely attempt to think about running Linux on this highly unstable jailbreak. So we're not even going to cover that, but you know what it is. Alright guys, and that is going to do it for today. I just wanted to give you an update on what has been happening with this latest unstable 6.72 exploit that has released, and just run down really quickly through most of the payloads and just give you an idea of what they do and their functionality. Anyway, if you found anything here helpful, useful, informative, the best way again to support the channel, as always, is just to hit that like button. Maybe subscribe if you haven't already. Much love going out to everyone out there. Be careful, be safe, but have fun, and we will see you on the next one.